everyone. Hello, am I audible?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
yes. Hello, everyone, and welcome to this demo class for Robotics AI and Robotics training program. My name is Tirthankar Bhatt, and I am an organizer and employee here at Robotics. I'm thrilled to be here today to introduce you to this exciting world of artificial intelligence and robotics. I'm
I believe,
particularly
Mr.
excited.
Tirthankar, your voice is coming very low. So if you may
Oh,
switch the sound, then it will be great.
yeah, sure, sir. Uh, uh, Okay, so welcome to this demo class for Robotics and AI Robotics training program. My name is Tirthankar Bhatt, and I'm an organizer and employee here at Robotics. I'm thrilled to be here today to introduce you to this exciting world of AI and robotics. I'm particularly excited to announce that in this program, we are collaborating with esteemed Indian Institute of Technology, Bhubaneswar. This prestigious institute is a leader in engineering and technology education, and their expertise will be invaluable in providing you with a well-rounded and comprehensive learning experience. Today's demo class will be led by our esteemed speaker, Mr. Sourbh Kumar, sir, who brings a wealth of knowledge and experience to this table with over 8 years of experience in the field of AI and robotics. Sourbh sir has a deep understanding of the latest advancements and applications in this rapidly evolving field. Throughout Sourbh's career, he has tackled challenging programs and developed innovative solutions at the forefront of AI and robotics. His expertise spans various areas, including machine learning, computer vision, robot control systems. And in this demo class, Mr. Sourbh Kumar sir will provide you with a taste of what you can expect from the Robotics AI program, training Robotics AI and Robotics training program. You will gain insights into the program, learning methodology, and the potential career that can open up for you upon successful completion. We believe that AI and robotics hold immense potential to revolutionize various industries and improve our lives in countless ways. If you are passionate about technology and eager to be a part of this exciting future, then the Robotics AI and Robotics training program is a perfect place for you to begin your journey. I encourage you to ask questions throughout the presentation and don't hesitate to reach out to us afterwards if you have any further queries. Thank you once again for joining us today. Now let's hand over to Sir to get deeper into the world of AI and robotics. Sir.
Thank you so much, Tirthankar. I'm so grateful to have you all today in here. So first of all, thank you all for being here today. As you know, my name is Sourbh Kumar, and some of you teachers already been connected with me throughout the journey of your Robotics and Artificial Intelligence classroom program. So to give you a bit of background, like how I came up to the solution today, basically each and every teachers were struggling to find a solution where they can actually implement the Python part into their robotics and artificial intelligence journey. And it is quite complicated. If you look into the market ready products and everything around you, then you will find a situation where you are unable to let your hardware devices get a proper interaction with the Python compiler, right? In the command line interface, you cannot able to directly jump in writing the codes, and further you cannot able to connect it with the existing microcontrollers, or we can simply say the brain of robotic system. So because of those things, actually I came up with the today's idea to bring this thing on the table so that you will get a proper understanding. So actually, why are we here today? So we live in a time where technology is advancing at a unprecedented pace, right? So AI is actually transforming industries and making our lives easier and more efficient, while robotics is obviously pushing the boundaries of innovation and automation. So Python, on other hand, with its simplicity and power, stands out as a fundamental tool that bridges the gap between the theory and real world application in this domain. So what you are going to learn today. So obviously we will explore some of the key concept in the Python, and you will see how we can utilize the Python for AI development, and also how we can utilize the Python programming for our robotics development. Both of the things are required as per the syllabus we do have with us. So why is specifically the Python, not the other platforms? Why we are not encouraging the embedded C++ or any other programming languages? Because as you know, Python is known for its readability and simplicity. But on other hand, we do have this syllabus to follow, which actually tells us to utilize the Python in our classroom program rather than the other programming languages. Yes, we can give the insight to our students, like how we can utilize other programming languages, but we have to like start again with our particular thing, like the Python program. So I want you to know that today's session is not just about listening. It's about engaging, experimenting, and asking questions. So like I always encourage my teachers and the members who join today to like you to be curious and proactive. And further, while like going through the classroom program, you should interact with me throughout the journey. If you do have any of the questions in your mind, then you can write down those questions in the comment section so that I can answer it accordingly and we can utilize the time properly in here. So the world of AI and robotics is obviously full with opportunities. And by the end of this session, I hope you will feel empowered to start your own project and continue learning on the same chapter. So let me let me help me, okay, fine. So allow me to share my screen with you all, and further we will proceed with our agenda today, and then we will go to the page. Okay. So as I shared one of the PDF sheet earlier, so we are going to have a proper introduction to a specific domain, that is robotics and artificial intelligence, and we will learn how to approach Python programming in robotics AI development, and specifically we will talk in terms of the required software and the installation part. Obviously, the compiler introduction will be there, and I will give you the proper summary to understand each and every tools in our compiler, and we will write some of the sample codes in the Python programming environment to specifically interact with our microcontroller system. And after that, we will have one of the project development, a smaller project, like we will integrate the LED along with our microcontroller to see whether it works or not with our existing setup through the Python programming. And we will discuss the conclusion part with pros and cons. I believe the embedded C++ platform. And many of you maybe heard of the Arduino IDE and you have utilized it earlier. So we are going to explore that. So I'm starting this session now, and let me give you the introductory part for the robotics and robots. Then we'll jump into the artificial intelligence, and we will follow our agenda for rest of the classroom program. So in specific, all of the times I used to like give the introduction of STEM before proceeding for the robotics and artificial intelligence. The reason is because I wanted you all to understand a key concept, which is very crucial. We are focusing more on robotics and AI, but we don't have any idea why actually we are implementing it in our classroom program, for in our schools and in our workplace, everywhere. So basically, robotics and AI comes from the domain STEM, that is science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. And you know well why these four domains are very important for all of us, right? Science gives us the ability to understand more about our environment. Technology makes our life easier. Engineering or an engineer is responsible to develop those technology for us, and specifically the mathematical parts helps us with the calculation and come up with the physical dimensions to explain everything around us, right? These four domains actually were targeted for the students to help them understand the concept by the practical approach rather than just jumping into the robotics and AI stuff and starting it over. So we can simply say robotics and artificial intelligence is one of the tool through which we are, as a teacher, we are explaining those practical the concept practically, which they are learning conventionally in their classroom program. So we are helping our students to understand the concept in a proper terms. That is our first thing to understand. And you as a teacher, you have to understand that you are not going to develop something like a Terminator. Maybe you've seen that movie. So we are not going to develop the Terminator kind of stuff in our classroom program, but yes, we will give them the insight of how those system works, and we will obviously divide the categories. We will separate individual categories in which we will mention different types and the stages of artificial intelligence, right? Rather than just allowing them to see the futurist scope, and we are summing up the classes by asking them to write the examination based on some 10 questions and mcqs and others. We have to deliver the practical sessions to our student, then only they can able to understand it properly in your classroom program. That is very crucial. So in a proper term, if we have to define the robotics part, then we can simply say robotics is a branch of technology and engineering that focuses on creating machines called robots, right? And in my earlier classes, maybe you all have joined earlier classes as well. So in my earlier classes, I specifically mentioned whenever we will discuss about the robots, then we can simply say robots are the combination of mechanism which helps us to reduce our effort in different domain or different domains, such as the toxic and hazardous environment, and also the places where a human being cannot able to reach or to explore by themselves, such as the space exploration and deep sea exploration. I'm giving you the context to understand. So we can simply say we have to come up with the intelligent machines. We can simply say it is all about the intelligent machines which can take their decisions with a minor interference from the human beings. Okay, so if we have to define the AI part along with the robots and robotics, then in a simple word in front of our students, we can say that artificial intelligence is the upgraded version of robotics, which actually helps the entire body to take their own decision rather than any further communication from our side. So artificial intelligence is some of the smart machines, we can simply say, which does not require human interference to like continue and complete their task. So
ये तो demo class.
yes, okay, oh sorry. So now what we do have is the other part. So if we talk in terms of like how this particular robot and the robotics came into existence, then you will find it quite funny because robot does have an interesting origin. So it actually comes from a play called RUR, that is Rosham's Universal Robots, written by the Czech playwright Karel Čapek in 1920. So in that play specifically, robots were depicted as artificial human-like beings that were created to serve humans. So in 1920 is actually came up with that idea that some kind of machines are like human look alike machines are going to like work with us to help us reduce our effort, and it will follow our commands to like complete the task in between. So the term robot itself derived from the Czech word robota, which means forced labor or work. So in the play, the robots were depicted to work for humans and perform tasks that were very difficult or dangerous. So over time, the word obviously the robot became popularized and adopted in various languages to refer to a mechanical or electronic devices. But if we have to like come up with a proper explanation of robots, then we can simply say robot is not only the combination of mechanical stuff plus electronic stuff, but apart from these two, we do have the computer science along with it, because the programming is also involved nowadays in robotics. So earlier they were like creating a simple mechanism which were worked with the existing what we can say the electronic modules or the mechanical mechanisms only, not for the computer science application. But nowadays we can clearly see the robots are the combination of three specific domains: mechanical, electronics, and computer science. So if we combine the mechanical and electronics, we will get the mechatronics, and the CS will be there as well with the mechatronic system. So the robotics is a combination of these three domains. So this is all about the robots and robotics. Let's see the specific things related to the artificial intelligence. Then we will jump into the presentation part. So specifically, as I mentioned, the artificial intelligence is one of the upgraded version of robotics, we can simply say. But from our student perspective, they have to write that particular thing on their examination paper, right? Otherwise they won't get the answer. So we have to mention this particular line to them so that they can understand it precisely. So we can simply say artificial intelligence is the simulation of human intelligence processed by machines, especially computer systems. So specific application of AI include expert systems, natural language processing, speech recognition, and machine vision. So how we can simply say, like, how does AI work? So we all heard a lot about the artificial intelligence nowadays, and you can find AI everywhere around us. So even though the Google search you generally use is one of the narrow or general intelligence, we can say the chat GPT is other example through which you can like ask plentiful of question to the system and it will answer back to you properly. So you will see the application of artificial intelligence in healthcare, navigation, and travel. Maybe everyone use the Google Maps, right? So whenever we try to find a place or a route between point A to point B, how the map actually comes up with a precise location and a shortest time travel between the two of the points because of the algorithms placed inside of it. So one of the algorithm works inside of that, and because of that one only, we are getting a very accurate results in our mapping system. So video games are based on the artificial intelligence. Social media platforms nowadays promoting their stuff using the AI integrated into it. E-commerce website are selling their products using the AI system, and obviously we are utilizing it for the security and surveillance. So and also for media streaming and services, the vehicle recognition identification. Maybe you've seen some of the application of AI in your day-to-day life, and it was like the ITMS project, Intelligent Traffic Management System. So whenever you will not wear the helmet or you will not wear the seat belt while driving a car, then you will get challan directly to your doorstep. So that is actually happening because of the AI algorithm implemented into it. So that system actually captures the live video streaming from the cameras and further decides whether that particular person is wearing the required things or not. If it is not, then it will issue the challan directly to the person registered with the number plate. So we do have the OCR scanner in the algorithm inside the ITMS project, which actually detects the number plate, different numbers in the number plate. So now let's jump into our presentation and we will start exploring the other part of the AI. So in mid-between, if you struggle to understand any of the concept, just help me with your question so that we can help you out on that. Okay, fine. So now I'm going to share upon successful completion. Okay, fine. Start from the teams. So I'm going to share my screen. So I believe my screen is visible to all of you. Okay. So let's see. So as I said, what is AI specifically, and the basic approach to understand the robotics AI. So if we like sum up those things in a bullet points, we can simply say AI refers to the simulation of human intelligence in computers and other machines. And AI systems are specifically designed to perform tasks that typically require human intelligence, such as learning, reasoning, problem solving, perception, and language understanding. So we can categorize the AI into different segments. That is the narrow AI, general artificial intelligence, and the super intelligent artificial intelligence. And by the term super intelligent artificial intelligence, we are just saying that word, which is a theoretical concept. So we are yet to reach that particular point of place where we can actually build something like super intelligent artificial intelligence, and it is supposed to be achieved by the 2050. So many of the researchers were like working in this particular field to build the super intelligence AI. And if I give you the relevant example to understand what is super intelligent AI, then you can refer to that particular Terminator in the movie Terminator itself. So the narrow AI and the general AI are currently being developed, and many of the application you are utilizing in a day-to-day life does have these kind of intelligence. Even though the Google speech search and the search engines, different type of search engines, YouTube and other platforms does utilizes this narrow and artificial intelligence and general artificial intelligence. So narrow specifically works in a low state mode. We can see that like the voice assistants and the recommendation system is all about the narrow artificial intelligence, but general artificial intelligence possesses the ability to perform any intellectual task that a human can do. Maybe you heard of the Sophia and different AI unit developed by the open AI community and other peoples in our globe, right? So those are the examples of general AI. So now let's jump into the other part. So as I already explained, so robotics is the branch of technology, and specifically it involves some of the basic key components to build it. And those who already are into my classroom program, where like I already explained these terms to you, but let me add on more onto that. So mechanical designs, obviously the mechanisms are required in any of the robots and the robotics structure. The sensors plays a crucial role. Okay, let me add one thing, then I will add more. I will add more on top of that. So if we have to define the robotics in a proper term, or suppose if we are building any robot device, there are three key components which we can utilize to build it. So if I take the example of the computer system to help you understand what it is all about, then we can refer to the three of the system: the input system, the processing unit, and the output devices. So input devices in robotics is actually nothing but the sensors, and the processing unit we are referring to the microcontroller, and we can simply say this is the brain of robotic system which helps with the logical outcome or the logical conclusion of overall journey. And output is all about locomotion and actuation system, means we are talking about the motion generating elements in here, nothing else, but just motion generating element. But we do have other means of generation of output as well in our scenarios. So those are we can also generate the output in terms of light. We can generate the output in terms of sound using the LED and using the buzzer or speaker in between. So these three actually are the important aspects or the required components to build any of the robotics structure. So as I were like explaining the sensors. So sensors are specifically responsible to like gather the information from the surrounding and help the robotics body to understand what is happening in front of them. So sensors may be the cameras, microphone, touch sensors, and we do have other type of sensor in robotics like IR sensor, LDR sensor, humidity and temperature sensor. Those sensors are being used to collect the data from the environment, and further based on that we can able to like process the data and generate the output as per our requirement. So actuators are nothing but the output devices in our robotic system which enable a robot to move or interact with its environment, like motors and servos. And control system is all about the algorithm and software that governs the behavior of a robot. So algorithm, obviously the program we will write. Suppose if any obstacle is there in front of the robotics structure, then suppose if we wrote inside of it, if you get any obstacle in front of you, just turn around and move back. So like these kind of command are the algorithms which we are going to write the program for in our robotics structure. Okay. So now intersection of AI and robotics. So AI and robotics often overlap, particularly in the development of intelligent robots. So AI techniques actually enhances the capability of a robot by enabling them to navigate and map. So using the AI algorithm to understand and move through their environment. So interact with the humans, perform complex tasks, like execute the intricate tasks with precision, such as surgical procedures and assembly line work. So application of these AI and robotics stuff is the manufacturing sector, healthcare, service industry, exploration. So many of the bots does have the AI enabled algorithm in it, which is actually being implemented in the space exploration and underwater exploration to detect specific things we are looking for. So and also the disaster response robots are very crucial. So what are the key tools we can actually utilize in between to like maybe you already utilize the Arduino IDE and different platforms to like further write the program into your microcontrollers and the brain of the robotic system. Maybe you already utilize the Arduino Uno's, Nano and other Raspberry Pi system. Maybe everything you have utilized, but one key point to understand specifically with respect to the Python programming and our classroom program is that we should utilize the Python programming for our class 9 and 10 student, right? That is the compulsory part, as it involves the completion of syllabus for them. So, but none of you, maybe some of you have already explored the way to utilize the Python in between. But let me tell you one thing about today. We are going to utilize one of the Python mean of programming, that is MicroPython, which is specifically for the hardware programming. The time when you utilize the Python programming earlier, we call it as the CLI interface or GUI interface. So you wrote your program in the command line interface, and also you wrote the program in the graphics user interface, and you got everything written, like the return response, you got the output in the terminal window only. No other mean of generation of the output was there in your compiler. So today we are going to explore the MicroPython and how to install that MicroPython stuff, and the compiler to write the program for our boards, different type of boards. And I will suggest you to utilize the ESP32s and ESP8266 microcontrollers for the programming, because these two boards are very these two boards are comfortable to go with. Like this can absorb anything. If you feed any type of programming, embedded C++ programming, fine, and Python programming also fine with these kind of boards. You can also utilize Raspberry Pi to implement the AI and robotics with Python in your classroom program. But I believe Raspberry Pi will cost you much to buy, and also it is not possible to buy like 10 pieces or 15 pieces for our classroom program. But yes, in future, the time when the prices will be low and the school management will encourage us to bring more things like the innovation oriented stuff into the table, then we can bring these things to our classroom program. But Raspberry Pi, many of the teachers find very difficulties to work with, because Raspberry Pi runs in a with an operating system, and that inside the operating system we have to install the uh, Python compiler, and then we have to write the program, then it executes the task. That means if you don't have any monitor and the laptop with you, you cannot able to run the Raspberry Pi systems. And yes, the process is complicated, because we will get only 45 minutes or 30 minutes of time in our classroom program with the students on a daily basis or a weekly basis. It is not possible for us to like cover entire thing about the Raspberry Pi, because you have to give them the overview of the system as well, and it is difficult for us to keep the track of. So I will suggest to utilize the ESP8266 and the ESP32 boards. And one of the board which does have the this particular chipset in it is the Node MCU board, and you will find it in a very low price in the market. You can start doing the experimented with that board. I don't think it will cost you more than 400 rupees. So go for it and buy it for yourself, one piece of it, and start doing the experimentation with the Python programming. Okay, so now let's see the other part of today's journey. Okay. So specifically, maybe you do have that doubt in your mind that what is MicroPython and why we are talking about MicroPython compared to the Python. Does MicroPython and Python have the similarities in between, or anything different in between two? So let me tell you, MicroPython is also a re-implementation of Python 3 versions targeted specifically for microcontrollers and embedded system. And one word came in between. So whenever we are talking about the embedded system, we are referring to write a program for a hardware device. If we are uploading and writing the program for a hardware devices, then we will refer those devices as a embedded system, in which we can rewrite or write the program, and it will work based on our logic placed inside the program. Okay, so MicroPython is very similar with regular Python. So if you know already how to program in Python, you also know how to program in MicroPython, because you will not find any difference in between the programming stuff. If you are good in Python, you are good in MicroPython as well. But you have to understand the flow of how to connect the hardware hardware, because if you do the misconnections in between, then you will obviously lose your microcontroller and you have to buy a new one. So understand the flow in this classroom program today, and the recordings will be there for you, for all of you after this session. And specifically those who registered this session will receive the recordings in their email IDs. So please keep it to further take the reference from it. So what is the difference between Python and Micron? There is no difference. So it's basically the Python is for the CLI and for computer systems in which we write the program. We will see the output in the command line interface or the GUI, graphics user interface. But in MicroPython, if we write the program, upload it to our embedded system, we will see those outputs in real time in our microcontroller or in our output devices, which is connected or attached to the microcontrollers or the brain of robotic system. So apart from a few exceptions, the language features of Python are also available in the MicroPython. The biggest difference between the Python and MicroPython is that MicroPython was designed to work under constrained condition. Means we do have limited functionality in MicroPython compared to the Python. Python does have a vast range of libraries and support for each and everything, but you will find less support for MicroPython because it is still in evolving stage and many of the developers are contributing for the libraries and everything. Maybe you already seen the Tinkercad platform and you will find difficulties to work with the Tinkercad simulation with electronic circuitry because there are limited number of sensors and the microcontroller present. And the Tinkercad platform specifically works with the Arduino's board and the microbit, right? So if you want to work with other type of microcontroller like Node MCU, ESP8266 and ESP32, then you have to find some other website to do so. Similarly, MicroPython does have a limitation with respect to the complete Python. So, however, it does include modules to access low-level hardware. That means that there are libraries to easily access and interact with the GPIOs. We don't have to declare, we don't have to download the libraries which as we were doing it earlier for the Arduino IDE. And if you don't have the idea of Arduino IDE, just raise your hand in your comment section, then I will add 5 minutes to help you understand that one. Okay, fine. So additionally, device with Wi-Fi capabilities like the ESP8266 and ESP82, ESP32 includes module to support network connection. So why MicroPython? So Python is, the most widely used, and MicroPython will help you control the electronics along with the Python programming environment. So let's see the other part. So different type of board support with the MicroPython. So what are the board which is compatible with the MicroPython? So as I mentioned, this particular chipset, you can see this particular chipset is mounted on top of the board is the ESP8266, and this complete board is known as the Node MCU, which is very less in cost. You can buy it for yourself and further start doing the experiment with it. So Node MCU board is one of the low-cost board you can utilize, and it utilizes the ESP8266 microcontroller in it. And on the other hand, we do have the ESP32 based boards, and also these are the ESP32, and these are the PyCom boards, which is based on the ESP8266, and this particular one is the microbit, one of the most famous microcontroller present in the market, and costly, obviously. 3,000, I believe, price is there for the microbit. So start sticking with the Node MCU board that is very low in cost, and it is good to execute the program. It works well with each and every languages we often follow in the Robotics and Artificial Intelligence study. Okay, so let's start doing the experiment with one of the compiler which I'm going to introduce today. So we are going to utilize the Pycraft IDE for that purpose. And okay, let me share the other screen with you so that it will be easier for you to start. Okay, fine. So now, if you are totally newbie or the person, you don't have any idea like where to find this link and how to install this software, just like go through your Google search normally and start writing to Pycraft. Okay. So Pycraft, here you can see we do have one of the link, that is the Pycraft from the GitHub. I will share this link in the chat section of this session today, so that you can also have a proper access to it. So you don't have to do anything, just click on the code and download zip. So just click on OK and start download. I'm just checking my IDMs to help me see the dialog box when it is completed. So I'm waiting for the download to get over. So just download the zip. And if you struggle to find, if you are connected with your laptop system, then you can proceed with me along with these things. So just go to that link and click on this code once and then download zip. Okay. It will take a minute to download. I believe more than 200 MBs file are there, and along in this folder, I will give you a proper understanding what is there inside this particular folder, and how to use individual
So we
stuff
need
with
to
it.
download that OK Wang, right?
Yes, ma'am.
We need to download that OK Wang, right?
Yes.
First one. Okay.
There is one. Yeah, the Oki Wang is the person who uploaded this one. Okay, so they are actually maintaining this one, and you can just click on this Pycraft, the link which I sent to you by the DF robot, and just click on the code, and further you will get this particular option to download it as zip. Okay, so my download is completed in here. So in the background, you can also proceed with it. If you find any difficulties, I will help you resolve it in a real time. Okay. So now what I'm going to do, I'm opening up the folder. So opening up the folder, giving me the access of this folder. So I'm just extracting all of the files in it, because this one is one of the compressed file. So now you can see this folder, we got the folder in here. And if I open up this folder, or simply, yeah, if I open up this folder, then you will see plentiful of files are there inside of it. But you don't have to worry about anything, because this is going to run very smoothly in your computer system. Okay. I missed one thing to mention. If you find difficulties, like sometimes what happens, if I open up the application of this Pycraft, then you will see one of the error message will throw into your computer that this program, we are unable to run this particular program or doing something. So I request everyone to install the Visual C++ Redistribute 2010 version. Okay, so I'm going to give you the link for that one as well. If you struggle with the opening of that program, then you can follow this link to download the Visual C++ Redistribute using this particular download button in here. Okay, so I'm just copying this link and pasting in the chat section for your reference. Okay, many of the teachers were in previously also struggled to open up the program, the Pycraft. So that is actually not opening up because of this particular application installed in our computer. So make sure that your computer does have this Visual C++ 2010, specifically the 2010. Other version may and may not be worked with the Pycraft. So go for the 10 and see it from your end. And if you struggle in between, just let me know. I'm all here to help you out on that today. So now let me move back to the folder. Okay. So in this folder, if I just open up the summary view, if I go to this one and just zoom up a little, yeah. So now you can see a list view is good. Just let me zoom. Okay, fine. So now you can see we do have a different type of folders. Let me categorize this folder according to the type. And also let me group this with respect to the type. Okay, so what we do have is the first Linux file and the second Linux files. You don't have to worry about these two, just leave it as it is. And we do have the application, and you can see there are plenty full of application, not a single application. So you obviously you will get the confusion like which one to click on and how to start this one. So always go for this particular buddy with no version info in it, Pycraft on the left hand side. So if you double click on it, it will just open it up. Okay, Before opening it up, let me give you more overview on the files we do have inside that folder. So inside the folder, you will see one of the bin files are there in this folder, right? And it's basically those bin file does have a name ESP32 and dash with the version, and ESP32, ESP32, ESP32 again, and 32, 32. And after that, ESP8266, 8266, 8266. So these are the firmwares you have to install in your microcontroller beforehand. Then only your microcontroller are going to work with the MicroPython environment. Otherwise, it won't work. The microcontroller, which we often buy from the market, does have a bootloader which actually supports get the support from the IDE, that Arduino IDE. So those microcontroller will work fluently or flawlessly with the IDE we do utilize in our day-to-day life. But specifically, if we want to like write the program in Python environment using the Pycraft and other type of compiler or MicroPython, then we have to write the firmware first, then only it will work with the compiler. Otherwise, your compiler will be unable to find that particular code associated with the computer. Okay, and we do have various type of examples, and the examples are properly well logged in here, so you can also go through the examples and like do some of the experimentation on your own. And we do have the hex file. Okay, unlike the ESP8266 boards or the Node MCU boards, Node MCU board and ESP32 supports the bin file, means the firmware format will be in bin format, but the microbit supports the hex file. Okay, so that is why we do have the hex file format for the microbit microcontrollers. Okay, and we do have the JSON file specifically to help us get the user interface of that compiler. And we do have the markdown source file, that is the internal file of this particular application. So I'm going to double click on this Pycraft. So I'm just opening it up. So first time when I double click on it, it will give me one option. Choose is install source code from font. So this font actually is going to be used in this compiler journey. So it is up to you to like click on OK. You can click on cancel as well. So I'm just clicking on OK because it is not going to change anything in my computer. And the time I clicked on OK, you will see that this particular compiler opened up perfectly in my computer, right? You can see it properly. So here you can see it will give us the dialog box every time we will open up the Pycraft, which you don't have to like go for, because as I mentioned earlier, for the Arduino IDEs as well, never use the higher or latest version. Otherwise, you will find yourself in a position where your program will not be uploaded to the board, because the new IDE actually brings the new trouble to us, because it is still in development phase and debugging phase. So many of the programmer writes the code, they launch it after 1 or 2 verification or maybe 10 of verifications. But upon getting the response from the user that some kind of error we are getting or having in between the programming journey, then only they try to like fix it. So I request you to like stick to the older version for now, but in future you can upgrade it as per your requirements and compatibility. Okay, Rashmi ma'am mentioned that, good evening, sir. Very good evening, ma'am. If we already have latest version of Visual Studio in our PC, do we still need to install this? No. If you do have the Visual Studio installed in your computer, then you don't have to. If you do have the Microsoft Office latest version like above 2013 and 2015, then also you don't have to install the Visual C++ redistribute, because those things, the Visual C++ redistribute comes along with the Office and higher version of Office, and also this Visual Studio. Okay, so you don't have to worry about the same. Just download the Pycraft first in your computer, check once whether it works or not. If it is not working, throwing you some error, you can post your screenshot in the chat section, or you can ask me the problem you are facing. So I will hand over the host capability to you, and further you can share your screen with us and I will solve the problem in real time. Okay. So I'm closing this thing up. Okay, so I'm canceling this thing up. It does not require. It does not require. Okay, so here I do have with me is one of the microcontrollers. And as I showed you the photograph, this particular microcontroller is the Node MCU, which I'm going to use in this classroom program today. So this microcontroller is one of my favorite, you can say, because I worked with almost like more than 1,000 of pieces of these microcontrollers, and specifically I utilize these kind of microcontrollers to build IoT-enabled devices. So it works well. It works well with the MQTT servers. It works well with your cloud server and everything else. So you don't have to worry and find the costlier items from the market. Just stick to it, and you will find the solution to your problem. So this one is the magical stuff I do have. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to attach this one into my computer, the Node MCU, and I will also give you the insights like what kind of problem you may face during the plugging in and like connecting the hardware devices with your computer. Okay, so now I'm plugging in this particular device with my computer system, and you can see this is live now. So if I unplug it one more time and show you whether this light comes to the link, yeah, you can see it, right? One light just blew and turned off. So now this device is online. To make sure that our device is properly connected with this USB cable or micro USB cable or not, there is a one method. You can utilize it any time of your choice. Okay, Mercy and Maxwell, can I have the link again, please? Yeah, sure. Why not? Let me give you the link. So I'm pasting the first link for the Pycraft, and second, I'm pasting the second link for the Visual C++ redistribute. Okay, so you can download it. First, I always recommend first download the Pycraft. If it is not working in your computer, help me with your error, what type of error you are getting in your system. And if you go for the C++ redistribute, then it will work fine after that. Okay, it usually happens with many of the users who do use the PC, like the computer system. Yeah, welcome back. So now let's get back to this system. Okay, so now the ESP8266 microcontroller is this one, this smaller, tiny, metallic, shiny structure. I always mention that whenever we do use these type of boards, these boards are usually referred to as the development board, not the microcontroller. So microcontroller is one of the subset of this whole development board. So you can see this metallic body as object in placed in on top of this whole body is the microcontroller, and this one is the complete development board. So name of the development board is Node MCU, and the microcontroller is ESP8266. Okay, so let me find out whether this device is connected or not. So what I will do, I will hit my start button in my computer and search for device. Okay, so device, you can see one device manager option is there. Just open up a device manager, and this particular section will open up in your computer. So as you can see, you have to look for this particular port, COM and LPT. So double click on it, and you can see the Silicon Labs, because this microcontroller is the original one which I bought from the market. The Silicon Labs is the manufacturer of that chipset. So you will see Silicon Labs CP2102 or CP210X USB to UART bridge. So I'm just double clicking on it, and my device is working properly. There is no problem with it. So I'm ready. I'm good to go with the further upgradation and work with this using the Python shell. Okay. So now I'm closing this device manager because I found that this particular device is properly connected. But in case if this is not showing in your COM port and LPT, do one thing for me. Let me help you with the troubleshooting part as well. So just open a new tab and just search for CP2102 driver. Okay, so you will land in this page, and you will see one of the option that is of Silicon Labs. So this particular chipset is from the company Silicon Labs. So just click on that. I'm just sharing this link as well with you in the chat section so that you can keep it with you. And the time when you are installing this system, just follow the procedure. Okay. So I send it on the chat section, just copy it and store it with you. Okay. Even though after the completion of this this classroom program. I will share the presentation with you so that you will have one notes after the session. Okay, and we will have a 15 to 20 minutes question and answer session after the completion of this classroom program. So be ready with your question so that you will resolve your doubts in real time, and then you should go for anything of your choice. Okay, so just go to the download tab and you will find this particular option in here, the software part. So CP2102X universal window driver. So just click on that and download it. Okay, the first one. You should go for the first one. So download it, and you can see it is downloaded. And we created one of the dedicated group for you all, right? So in case if you are struggling to find out the solution, suppose if you're stuck in any point of time, then just ping us back in that group, because I'm also connected in that group. So if you write down your questions in the group, then further I can help you with it, because maybe some of you teachers were connected in this meeting program today with their mobile phone, not with the computer. So maybe after tomorrow, day after tomorrow, or any other day, you will get this code and start working with it. So keep it safe with you, the links, keep it safe with you. And after that, just let me know if you find any difficulties in between. I will help you out on that. Okay, so this one will resolve the problem of the driver issue with this chipset. So let me go back to the Pycraft stuff. Okay, so now to give you the overview of what is happening with this and what are the tools we do have in this Pycraft, let me jump back to my presentation. Okay, so these are the interface actually. This is the whole view we will get into our Pycraft. So you can see we do have different sections, right? You can see we do have different sections, section 1, section 2, and section 3, and section 4. So section 1 is actually the folder section, where we will find different files and folder associated with our programming journey. And second section is all about the editor, in which we are going to write the program while working with our microcontrollers. Okay, similar to the Python CLI, or not the CLI, you can say it is something similar to the .py file we always save in our computer. Okay, .py file will save in our computer, and further we executes it in this through the command line, right? The third part is our terminal window. You can see third part is our terminal window, or MicroPython cell, we can say. And fourth part is the tool window, through which we are going to modify, change, or add different things and connect our devices, which I'm going to show you in a minute. Okay, after this one, suppose if you are like having any problem, okay, I will share the insight of the troubleshooting part later on. Just let me start with it. Okay, fine. So let me jump back into the UPython. Okay, so here you do have the menu bar, as I always like mentioning for individual software. So you do have the menu bar, and if you click on the menu bar, you will get this sub menu of it. Okay, and some of the sub menu does have this kind of arrow in it. So we call it as simply the drop down menus or another sub menu. Okay, so you will see first thing you should do after connecting your board to the PC, you should click on tools and select the desired board. So right now you can see the ESP32 boards are selected. So I will just connect with ESP8266 because I'm going to work with the Node MCU, and Node MCU does have ESP8266 microcontroller in it. Okay. So after this particular selection, I will go to the serial. See, right now it is showing me the COM port. But if I open up my Bluetooth, if I just open up my Bluetooth, turn on my Bluetooth, then you will find it very interesting. Let me show you one of the things. Maybe you struggle in between in future, so why not to help you understand those concepts beforehand. Okay, so now I'm turning on my Bluetooth. So Bluetooth turned on, and now if I go to the serial, then you will see many more COM ports were like showing up now, right? So now it is confusing which particular COM port is our board. So with that particular example, just dive into the device manager. Okay, click on the COM port and LPT, and you will see the Silicon Labs. And apart from the Silicon Labs, other part are also there. Just find out the Silicon Lab thing, and you will see the COM10 is associated with our microcontroller. So COM10 you have to select inside the tools and board option. Okay, so this is how you can find out which COM port is selected. And also if you double click on this particular Silicon Labs, then just go to the port setting, and here also you will see, okay, not the port setting here. Here also in general tab, COM10 is properly reflected. Okay. So now what I will do, let me turn off the Bluetooth because it is not required. Otherwise the audio will route to somewhere else. So now I'm going to serial and further I'm selecting the COM port. So you can see the COM port is properly selected and one tick mark came just in front of it, right? And the board is also properly selected, that is ESP8266. But we are not yet ready to like upload this code to our board. So first of all, as I mentioned, we have to write the firmware, and it's also in Arduino programming, maybe in Arduino IDE, you have seen the feature before. And if you don't if you have not seen that one feature before, let me know in the comment section. I will help you out on that. So like how to go for the advanced level of programming. Okay, so if I open up my Arduino IDE, allow me a second, please. Let the Arduino IDE open up. You will see one option is there under tools. You will see one option is there. Oh, sorry, inside the tools, there is an option, yeah, called Burn Bootloader. Can you see it? So Burn Bootloader is also there. Suppose if you are like going to work with the Python shell after uploading the firmware into it, then that particular board will not work with this particular compiler. So you have to change the bootloader again to make it work with the embedded C++ platform. Otherwise, you will find difficulties to like handle your board with respect to the other compiler. So I always do one thing while writing the code in my Python. So I wrote the Python using the permanent marker in it, so that I won't forget that this particular board is being programmed with the bootloader for to be utilized in the Python shell rather than the Arduino IDE. So I won't get the confusion and no problem and no other issues will be there with me. This program will upload into it with this particular compiler as well, but it won't work. Okay, so we have to change the bootloader, then only it will work with it. In my next class, I will definitely show you how to do that. Okay, so now let me close this IDE, as we don't require the IDE today because we are going to work with Python compiler itself, right? So right now in front of you, you can see three arrows are there, right? Three arrows are there, and these arrows are representing the terminal window in which we can actually write some of the functions and programs, and it will execute it in real time. Okay, so let me do one thing. Okay, let me do one thing now. Okay, so I'm clicking on tools once, and further I'm clicking on the button burn firmware. Okay, so burn firmware, I clicked on it, and further you can see there are options called board. So you have to select the board ESP8266, and if you are utilizing any other board, you can select the same as per your requirement. Okay, and we should always erase the flash to like remove the conflict in between. So we should remove the flash completely, and the COM will be selected as COM10 because this particular board is connected with communication port number 10. Okay, and we have to choose the firmware because we are going to update the firmware. We have to find the firmware first, then we have to upload it here. But as you downloaded the Pycraft from the GitHub library, the folder does have the firmware, as I were explaining it earlier, right? So just click on user and choose and go to that particular folder. So by default, it will open up in that particular folder only. So choose the latest version of ESP8266, that is 20170721. This one is the latest version. So just choose this bin file. So bin file will be there for the ESP8266 and ESP32, but hex file will be there for the microbit microcontrollers. Okay. So I'm just choosing this ESP8266 bin and opening it up, and you can see it is perfectly being placed in the bins. Okay. Can I get the, yeah, Amandeep. Yeah, Amandeep, sir, you will definitely get the link. If you registered for this classroom program today, then you will receive it in your mails. You don't have to worry if you missed anything in the beginning. Just be with us, as right now also we are exploring the thing from the point one for this compiler. You don't have to worry. Just follow the procedure. Okay, thanks. So now I selected this particular bean file, and further what I have to do, I just have to click on OK button, and you will see one dialog box is appearing in front of me. It is erasing the flash first, so whatever is there inside this brain stuff is completely removed, and now it is burning the firmware, the new firmware in it. So you will see some of the blinking stuff is going on in this one. Okay, so now this one is perfectly done. Shiren MT, ma'am or sir, you asked one question in the chat section. It will work only when we connect the board. Obviously, yes, it will work only when we connect the board. Otherwise, how it will get connected with these ports wirelessly or some other means? There is no other means, and ma'am. So it will work the time when you connect your board with your compiler in here. Okay. You can also do the experiment with the Arduino, which I'm going to give you the proper understanding in my next class. So just be with us for this one, and next time you will see the wonders for Arduino board as well. Okay. So now this particular one is connected, and further, if I just hover through this particular link. Okay, let me give you the overview from the right hand side as well. Left hand side, we do have the tree in which we will see the device, and every program will be stored under the device in a section. Okay, so device SD is the storage, another part the workplace, and everything is there for us to be utilized for the programming journey. On the right hand side, we do have the new button and the open button and save button and run button, download and run. We usually call it as download rather than uploading the code to the board. So we always download the code to the system in Python, and in microbit we call it as download. So the time when I will click on the download and run means we are uploading the code to the board and we are running it. Okay, so we do have the stop option, we do have the connect option, we do have undo, redo to reverse the process or the things written in our program, and we do have the syntax check, and we do have the clear. Suppose if you want to clear out everything in the programming window, then we just have to click on that, and syntax check obviously to find out the errors in your programming, right? So one more comment I received, can you please name the board connected to the system? Yes, sure, why not? Let me reply to you. The board I am using is Node MCU. Okay, I'm writing it down in the comment section. So, okay, everyone in the meeting side, Node MCU. Okay, Node MCU. Okay, I sent it. Okay, so you can find it, or let me show you now. Let me show you which one is the Node MCU. So let me go back to this tab. So I'm just writing down Node MCU. Okay. So if you just go to the image section, so you will find these boards. Okay. So here is the boards. Here are the boards. This particular board I'm using right now, but you can utilize any board of your choice. Okay. Welcome. Okay. Let me go back to the Pycraft, and further, let me just, okay, this overview is completed. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to check the serial and then again the COM stuff, because after uploading this firmware, it will be disconnected from the system. So first I will choose the COM port, and further this terminal. Now you can see after connecting to the COM, this terminal came up. So if I just check, and one thing you can see, we do have this one. If I just hover to this button, then you will see now it is showing disconnect option rather than the connect option. That means my board is properly and successfully connected with this particular compiler, and I don't have any problem of proceeding further. Okay, so now you can see we do have this terminal window in here. So simply if I write one of the things which you know well, whenever we begin in the Python programming, so if we just generate the hello, and it won't do any of the, sorry, double P, I wrote double P, sorry. So if I just write this hello and sum up, you will see the hello in return, right? So now the Python programming is working well. So this is the output coming from this particular device, not from this compiler. So whatever we are typing in here, we are getting the output from this particular device. So now let me move back to the presentation again. Okay. So I already explained you this one. So new file, open file, save file, download and run. I will share this presentation with you all as well in the group. Okay. So now let's do one of the experiment where we can write one of the sample program and understand how it works. Okay. So let me just go to the further help you with this particular program. Okay. So I'm copying it from here further. Okay, fine. So now I'm sharing my screen back with you. So in the chat section, I am writing down that program for your reference. Okay, so I believe you received it from your end. Okay, so I'm also going to open one new file in here, and I'm going to save that file first. I'm going to save the file first as the main only. Okay, so main, I'm saving it, and you will see if you click on this particular one, I'm just pasting this program in here, and further what I'm going to do, I'm just checking whether my device is connected properly. I'm just clicking and download and run. Okay, so now this one is saved. Okay, so let me save it one more time. Input file name. So I'm clicking on OK now. So yes, I already saved it earlier. So it is asking me again. Let it be. So I'm just renaming it. Okay. Can we do it with Arduino board, or this board is there in the kit sent by you? Yes, Priti ma'am, this board is there in the kit we sent to everyone. The teachers who were associated with us, you can directly work with the Node MCU. It is available in your kit box. Okay. And also I will share the insight how to utilize the Python programming for Arduino board in my next free session. Okay. You don't have to worry. And also it is included in your classroom program. So even though you are going to get this kind of knowledge in between. Okay. Okay, fine. So now I wrote the program, I saved it. So now let's click on the download and run. The time when I click on the download and run, you will see on the left hand side what happened. One of the main.py came into existence, right? And further, this program is specifically to blink the LED, right? So what I am going to see, okay, let me place this section on the top hand side. Okay, so sleep. Just giving some of this space and checking whether the board, yeah, everything is selected. Again, I'm clicking on download and run. You can see what is happening with the pin. You can see now the LED is coming properly. So I'm disconnecting the board once and connecting it back. And further, again, I'm clicking on the download and okay. So now you can see the board is working properly. I don't have to do this one. So leave it and dump it. So I'm just removed that particular sleep option because I don't want to blink the LED, just a normal. So if I just stop, so if I click on the stop button now, then you will see the time when I touch the stop button, this one will stop executing the command. So this thing works live with the current system. Like it works parallelly with the microcontroller. So whenever we have to stop the program, unlike the Arduino Uno board, once you upload the code to your Arduino Uno board, it will run in a loop, right? So here, the time when it is connected with this system, and the time you are downloading and running the program, then only it will run. And after that, there is some methods which I will explain in the future classes. So I'm just clicking on download and run again, and it will come online. If I stop, then it will stop. Simply just like that. And you can also do the syntax check. So syntax check finish. If any error means came into this execution, then it should show up in the terminal window. Everything you will get in the terminal window about what is happening with the current system. Okay. And the time when we wrote this particular program, main.py, you can see main.py is also came in between the tree of the device, right? So inside the device, we do have the boot.py, which is actually telling this particular microcontroller how to turn on different stuff and how to operate different stuff. Means if we are referring to pin 2 or pin 3, we are actually referring to some of the pins, right? If you see, okay. The thing which I forgot to mention, let me add one thing to you. So if I just go down, okay. So let me go back to my class reference. Okay. So inside the class reference, I do have the node MCU. Okay. Let me share my entire screen with you so that it will be visible. Okay. So unlike Arduino Uno boards, in Arduino Uno boards, we do have different type of IO pins, right? Specifically, I mentioned those in my early classroom programs. So Arduino board does have the IO pins. And if I come back to this one, you will see that Arduino Uno board. Let me open it up for you so that it will be a good thing to consider. Okay, so Arduino Uno board have these kind of pins from 0 to 13. These are the IO pins called input and output pins, where you can connect your input devices, and also you can connect your output devices to generate the output, and input devices will serve to provide the input to the development board or the microcontroller in it. So this chipset is the microcontroller in Arduino Uno board. So if we just go back to the Node MCU, so no, in Node MCU we don't have the pin numbered with 0 to 13, right? So pin in here is specifically mentioned by the term D0, D1, D2, and D3, and something like that, dot dot dot. So if I just go back to the Pycraft, you will see I wrote specifically in not the D2 or D3 or D4. You can see in this line, I wrote the pin 2. The reason why I wrote 2 instead of D something, because if I just go back to the Node MCU, you will see pin names are properly written on the board, but you have to find out the pinout diagram. I'm also sharing this particular image in the chat section so that you can keep it for your reference. With respect to the D4, actually this particular LED is connected, one of the onboard LED, this particular LED is connected with the D4 pin. Okay, so we have to execute the task for this D4 pin, and for that we can declare the D4 in our program, it will work fine, or you can write down this particular thing in here. So it actually represents the GPIO 02. GPIO 02. That 02 is actually the pin number without any letter in it. But if you use D4, it will work same, and 02 will also serve the same purpose. So there is no single difference. And in Arduino, we call the pins as IO pins, that is input and output pins. But in Node MCU and other boards, in each and every other boards like the Raspberry Pi you take, and the ESP32 and ESP8266, all boards does have the GPIO pin instead of IO pins, and there is no single difference between IO pin and GPIO pins. So GPIO pins is all about general purpose input and output pin. Okay, nothing else, no difference. But we have to use this particular line of numbers, or you can directly use these numbers along with the capital letter, one of the letter that is starting with D and a numerical value associated with it. So you can either use D0 or you can either use 16 for the same. So now the inbuilt LED is associated with D4. That is why we wrote the pin number 2 in our programming environment. I hope you understood why we wrote pin 2. Okay. So now let's jump back to the Pycraft. Okay, so now the program is running perfectly and everything is going on perfectly. So let's move back to the presentation. So what we are doing in this particular program, so we wrote first line from machine import pin. So from machine import pin means import the pin class from the machine module. So machine is the module and pin is the class from that particular module. If you already do have the experience in the Python, then you will, I believe you will understand it properly. If you don't have, then you can join our Python classes as well, so that you will get a proper understanding of how to start learning it. So please share the recording with us. Prabhat Viswas sir. Yes, definitely, sir. We will share it. That is why we are offering this classroom program, right? We'll share it in our social media platform as well, and we'll share it with you who have registered it first. Then after a day or something like that, it will be uploaded to the system, to the YouTube or other platform. Okay. So this particular module access to various hardware components of the microcontroller. And what are those various hardware components present in the microcontroller? The pins itself, the IO pins, the GPIO pins which we were discussing earlier. So we are actually addressing different type of pins using this machine and pin stuff. Okay, so machine is the module, pin is the class, simple as it is. So now the second line, from time import sleep. So remember the time when we wrote the program for our program in embedded C++ platform, like for the Arduino, and the other boards, we use the delay word instead of sleep. So in Python, sleep is popular. In embedded C++, delay is popular, or both serve the same purpose. But one difference is there. In Arduino, whenever we write delay, it actually works the delay, the time is in millisecond, not in actually in seconds. But in here, if we write anything in sleep, that is actually the second. Okay, so if we wrote 0.5, that means we are talking about half of seconds. But in Arduino programming, if we write 1000, then it will be equivalent to 1 second, because in Arduino usually delay is there in milliseconds. Okay, so now we wrote LED. Okay, so we wrote LED is equal to pin 2 and comma pin dot out. So basically we are defining one of the variable to address the pin 2, which is going to be served as output. So pin out in here in the Python programming language will serve as an output device. And remember the time we wrote the program for the embedded C++ platform, we used to write the output in capital after the pin numbers. So in here you have to write the pin number. Similarly, you have to write the pin dot out, pin dot in. So pin dot out will serve the output and pin dot in will serve the input. Okay, and after that what we are using, while true LED dot value, not LED dot value. Okay, fine. So LED dot value or while true actually is one of the infinite loop that will run until the program is stopped or interrupted. So the time when we hit the stop button, then only it will stop. Otherwise, it will run indefinitely, in an infinite loop. So it won't stop in between. Okay. So LED dot value after that is the returns the current state of the pin, either true for high or false for low stuff. Okay, so in programming with Arduino IDE, we used to write the high and low stuff, right? But in Python programming, there is no such concept to like define the high and low. We will go for true and false stuff. So true will represent the high value and false will represent the low value. That is the off condition and true is the on condition. Okay. We are referring to the digital system only in here. We are not going to like dig in deep with the analog system because it will complicate the process for today's classroom program. Okay, we will see that thing later on as well. So LED dot value is actually negates the current state of the LED. If the LED is on, high or true, then it turns off and vice versa. Okay, so LED dot value actually reverse the process. Whatever the feed is going through that particular pin, it will just reverse the process. If the pin is on highest state, it will send the lowest state, and if the pin is on lowest state, it will send the highest state. So LED dot value and inside the bracket not LED dot value is actually the sets pin to the opposite current state and effectively toggling the LED. Okay, so to change the switch states of the high and low condition. And sleep, as I already explained, it is one of the delay or pauses the execution of program for 0.5 seconds or 500 milliseconds. Okay, so I hope this program is clear to all of you for now, right? Okay, so now let's sum up everything. Okay, so now I'm going back to, okay, fine. This one is completed. Okay, so I'm going to ask for all of you, like any problem so far you struggle to understand, any doubts so far from your point of view. So in case of any doubts and problem, you can ask your question now because I'm going to conclude this session in some minutes. Any sort of doubt maybe you do have, then please just let me know once.
Yeah, sir, I have one doubt. Sir,
Yes.
I have one doubt.
Yes, ma'am. Please go on.
Yeah, here my MicroPython is used. Here,
this one is the MicroPython only.
Yeah, MicroPython is used in robotics. Yeah, and Python is used in
Python and MicroPython both are similar. See, in Python, there is no such option to control the hardware stuff, right? So MicroPython is specifically designed, or the lightweight version of the Python compiler. Whatever you can do in the Python, you can also replicate the same in the Python, in the MicroPython as well. There is no such difference. But MicroPython is specifically for the hardware devices such as the microcontroller and the robotics and artificial intelligence. So the time I will also share some of the key programs for some of the sensors and output devices. And one of the project I will share in the group, which you can do the experiment with, but there is no such difference. MicroPython does have the limitations in library, but yes, it is still evolving and we can expect more because robotics and artificial intelligence nowadays leading everything around us, right? Even though it came into our curriculum. So we can rely on the developers who will definitely add on more values to the MicroPython.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. So
Thank you.
thank you, ma'am. So any other question from the teacher side? Any other doubts if you may have in your mind, then please ask me. I'm going to answer that one. Okay, Salini ma'am, thank you so much, ma'am. You said it, explained very well, where you'd like to join the other sessions for this topic. So ma'am, please be in our group. We usually organizes these kind of free sessions to all of the teachers and educators around the world, and we comes up with a basic thing like which particular compiler software or things you can utilize in your day-to-day journey, so that you can cope up with the robotics and AI syllabus. Because if you see the robotics and AI syllabus for class 9 and 10, there are project mentioned. I totally agree with the team, but there is no specific practical projects mentioned along with the microcontroller and the hardware devices, right? That is why the X Robotics team and me, along with the X Robotics team, came up with the idea to fill that gap, actually, to bring more innovation factor and how to utilize those hardwares to help the student understand the actual robotics and actual artificial intelligence. Even though after suppose if we got the syllabus and if we are still teaching the Python programming to generate the user interface, then it won't make sense, because we are talking about robotics and artificial intelligence, right? And something if you don't see in the real time, in the real life, or in the physical world, I think the Python program will not be the sufficient one to fix those things. So that is why these classes is important. And just be in our group. We will send the link, and your email we do have. We don't send any marketing stuff. We will send you the link in the next time as well for the classroom program. Okay, ma'am, one more question from Shiren ma'am. When will you start your course? If you are eager to join our courses for Python programming, specifically for the hardware devices, then you can approach the teammate in the group, Mr. Tinthankar. He will help you out to enroll into the course. You don't have to worry and don't have to wait for the starting of the class. And Navya Nayan Bhai Soni asking for, please share your group link. So Tirthankar, are you there with me?
Yes, sir.
Tirthankar, may you please post that link into this chat section and also the feedback things into this chat section of this meeting today? Yeah, please.
Sure, sir.
Yeah, extremely happy to see Sangeeta ma'am. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Truly grateful for that standout training. Thank you, ma'am. So, any other questions so far? Yeah, Nayan Bhai, Soni sir, the group link has been shared in the chat section. You can join into that, and also the form for the feedback mentioned in the chat section. You can click on that and submit your precious response. I will love to see your response in the feedback section. That is actually propels me in the forward direction to contribute more to our teachers and help them understand the concept with what we can say, the simplistic approach. You don't have to rush into way too hard to learn these things. These things are very easy to understand, and if you follow the pace and if you follow the simple steps, you will become the perfect in this domain. So just stick with me. I will share every single insights for the robotics and AI stuff. So all good, gets. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, sir. So if still anyone do have any doubts or anything in your mind, you can ask us, because we will be live for another 5 minutes and we will conclude this session after that. So it is 8:28 now. Shiren ma'am asked me, like, if we done this course, is it possible to work as a STEM teacher? Yeah, let me tell you one interesting story. Many of the teachers actually took our courses for basic of STEM and robotics, and also they gone through entire training program, and some of them, yes, placed in different schools, and even though one of the teacher is in engineering college, so you can expect, yes, you can become the STEM teacher if you focus properly. You will get the certification as well along with the classroom program, and that certificate will be valid not only in India but around the world. You can utilize that certificate. That is absolutely valid in every single place in the world, because we are the topmost company in India, and we do have the incubation unit in IIT Bhubaneswar, and we do have many outstanding teachers with us from IIT Delhi, IIT Madras, and so many others. Yeah, if you done this course, it is possible. Yes. How long it will take to finish the course? See, basically the STEM course is for the 24 days. You can join that course. That is for from basic to advanced level. And after the completion of your STEM course, if you wish to dedicate your time in the Python programming and advanced course, then you can join this particular course, which for which we gave the orientation and demonstration today. Okay, so that one will serve the purpose. You will get the certification, you will get everything in your hand. Okay, and you will get proper knowledge. You can interact with our teachers who previously completed the course with us, and they will give you the proper feedback onto that. So you will provide every resources and kit. Yes, you will get the LMS access, the learning management system, in which theoretical and every notes will be mentioned in here, and resources and kit. Yes, and you will receive the physical copies of the kits, so in your doorstep, in your address only from our side, if you want to. And this ma'am asked, sir, please say about the certificate. Yes, so certificate will be valid throughout the world. Many of the teachers are took our courses and working in different part of the country. As far as I can remember, one of the teacher is in UAE, and one teacher is working in Canada. Two teacher I know personally. That is why I kept the track of them, and they are serving their purpose. They are doing it greatly, and they are doing it perfectly. Okay. Yes, after this program, yes, you will receive the certificate, Disha ma'am. This particular day also, if you registered for today's event, you are going to receive one participation certificate as well. Okay, so you don't have to worry. Okay, anything else from the teacher's side? Yeah, Provost sir, thank you so much for joining this session, sir. I'm very thankful to everyone who like dedicated their time in weekends to like join over this session, which makes me actually feel good. So certificate through mail or WhatsApp, sir. Obviously, this ma'am through mail only. WhatsApp is not valid method to communicate with each other, right? So we will do it professionally. You have to wait for 1 or 2 days. We will send the certificate by mail only. If you do not receive the certificate, then you can ping directly to the team member. They will arrange it for you. Okay. And Janvi, thank you so much. Ramakrishna ma'am, thank you so much. I'm so thankful to see the response from the teacher side. I hope you understood everything. That is my overall goal for this session today, right? Yeah, send Rashri ma'am, I believe Rashri ma'am is asking about the group. Disha ma'am is asking about the group link. So Disha ma'am, it is already there in the chat section. Let me send it back to you one more time, okay? Just copying this link and sending it to you. Okay, fine. I'm sending it to everyone in the group again, so you can join the chat room, our chat room, in which suppose if you are not also going to take this course or the class, you can still interact with me, because we are here to share our knowledge with you, right? So if you want to like explore further into this domain, we can support you, but like getting into our regular classroom program will give you the extra benefit to utilize the knowledge properly, because you are going to learn it from basic to advanced. Okay, so those things are there parallelly, so you can enroll into our courses to get more insight into that. So whom to contact for the Jhansi ma'am asked whom to contact for the course details, sir. Just join into the group, ma'am, which I sent the link to everyone. In there, you can see the admins are there. Mr. Tirthankar sir will be there. He will drop the message after completion of this meeting today. And further, you can contact him to like join into the course. Okay. So I hope we will get more programs like today. Yes, we already organized, Prabodh sir, we already organized like 20 of the sessions before related to the STEM, AI and robotics. I will love to share those free session link recordings to all of you as well. But yes, in future, definitely we are going to have more classroom program and orientation of program like this one, in which we will share the actual knowledge which you all are seeking rather than the other stuff the other companies are selling in the market. So we will share that for sure. We'll update it in the group, sir, only. Okay. Okay, so everyone is good, and everyone, I hope everyone is doing great in their respective field, and I wish you all luck to be in good health, and just enjoy your weekend with your family. Sorry to like have your 1.5 hours for this classroom program in the weekend time. I know it is very difficult for you all to like cope up with the free timings of it. Okay, and please do not forget to share the feedback. We shared the Google form link in the chat section. In the WhatsApp group also, we are going to share that. So I'm so thankful to everyone for joining this session today. So I'm concluding the session for now. I hope we are on the clear chapter for Devasis Banerjee, sir, you are willing to say something?
No, sir.
Okay, sir. Thank you. No problem. Okay. So let's conclude this session for today then. So thank you so much everyone for joining this session today, and it was really a nice session with you all. Yes, sir.
Thank you so much,
sir. Yeah, thank you so much, sir, for your.
Thank you, sir.
Have a good day. We will meet
you,
again in our next week classroom.
Yeah, sure, sir.
Have a good day. Very good day. Bye-bye.
Thank you
so very much, sir.
Thank you so much for your time, sir.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Have a good day, sir. Bye-bye.